I oppose Senator Braun's amendment. This amendment would make it harder for workers at large franchises like McDonald's, a company that made over $6 billion in profits last year, from exercising their constitutional right to form a union and collectively bargain for better wages, benefits, and working conditions. The law is clear. Workers have a right to collectively bargain with all employers. This amendment erodes that fundamental right. This amendment is a poison pill clearly designed to undermine the entire bill. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment. Discussion. Senator Cassidy.
Senator Braun, real quick question. You're just saying that if McDonald's, whatever they've earned, which seems beside the point, if McDonald's comes up with material that would prevent sexual harassment, that would make people more sensitive to those who are different than themselves, they could share it with the franchisees so they could train their employers, and that would make it, that would not somehow create a joint employer relationship.
All things I think the chairman of the committee would be interested in as well, but not to where it would trigger some type of court issue by doing that.
So if we don't do this, it discourages the McDonald's of the world from creating that material. And it makes it more likely that there's sexual harassment or abuse if that's going to occur, because it may be unwitting, but they're not getting the material that's been shown to be effective.
It'd be counter, I think, to what both sides of the aisle would be interested in general.
My gosh, this seems like a good amendment, but if we want to do so, if we want to use the resources that a big corporation can develop in order to train people to live more in more harmony with others, that seems like something we should encourage, not put them at legal risk if they in turn use it. I yield.
Further discussion.
I have amendment number 2.
Yes, Senator Braun. Is that amendment number 2 coming up?
Yes. To amend the NLRA Act to reform the National Labor Relations Board, the Office of the General Counsel, in the process for appellate review. Under the Biden administration, the National Labor Relations Board is chosen to engage in partisan advocacy rather than doing its job. I have continuously held that the NLRB to account during the past 2.5 years for their failure to protect American workers and employers. This amendment, which is also a bill introduced by Senator Blackburn and I that would be happy to have others on as a co-sponsor, will return the agency to its intended purpose. That is, as an independent federal agency that acts as an impartial body in deciding cases related to the National Labor Relations Act. This amendment would end the partisanship at the NLRB by increasing the number of board members from 5 to 6 and requiring an even split among Republicans and Democrats sitting on the board. Further, it would require all board members to approve all decisions, which would ensure bipartisanship.
Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday to all of you. It could be coming very soon. Direct payments to the American people is now gaining new support. Top lawmakers from both parties are now backing a plan that would affect many financially. Under this new plan, millions of American families would receive bonus relief checks as the cost of living continues to rise in the United States. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to learn more about this. Also, I will be announcing the winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway. My dearest friends, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. According to Newsweek, it's been 3 years since the first stimulus checks were distributed to Americans, but talks of a fourth round are emerging again as congressional support grows. Over the course of the crisis, our federal government sent out 3 direct payments to provide financial relief for millions of struggling Americans. This is including an expanded child tax credit that offered families some economic wiggle room and is credited with briefly cutting childhood poverty by as much as 30%. Newsweek reported that although those expansions expired at the end of 2021, there is now renewed interest coming from both sides of the aisle in reviving those monthly checks. A top issue for Democrats are proposals to bring back the child tax credit, which are widely supported by Democrats in both chambers. In the House of Representatives, 210 Democrats have already signed on to new legislation aiming to increase the $300 monthly payments to $2,000 for the month that a baby is born. The newborn baby bonus is not included in the companion bill signed by over 4 Democratic senators. But the Senate version does make the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit for low-income workers permanent. The new bonus proposed by House Democrats would push the benefit from $3,600 a year to as high as $53,000 for families of newborns, making the legislation unlikely to pass. The Congressional Budget Office has already estimated that a permanent extension of the crisis-era child tax credit, which offered $300 per month, would cost the U.S. government $105 billion a year. Democratic Representative Susan Delbene, who serves on the House Ways and Means Committee, recently told reporters, "When we make investments in our children through the expanded child tax credit, the return that we get is incredible." While Republicans will be unlikely to support the price tag of the proposed child tax credit, some GOP lawmakers have signaled they'd be willing to whittle it down and still include some version of the benefit to get the GOP its desired tax cuts. On the Republican side, Representatives Brian Fitzpatrick and Don Bacon and Senators Todd Young and J.D. Vance have all suggested that the child tax credit could make a return to American households. In a break from the majority of his party, Brian Fitzpatrick told reporters last month that the debate over the monthly is not over and that he would use his seat on the House Ways and Means Committee to push for reform for the rest of the season. The lawmaker also stated it's going to be a live, open issue for this entire cycle because you have people like me on the committee who actually do support it. Representative Don Bacon also seemed willing to reconsider bringing the credit back as part of a compromise for the Democrats, telling reporters that because the other side is rallying behind it, it could quickly become a bargaining chip that we can use. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about child tax credits? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Although a federal child tax credit is still in the talks, 12 states have enacted their own versions to help offer some relief to American families. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Idaho, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oklahoma, and Vermont all have some type of benefit available. 9 of those states have a fixed limit on the credit ranging from $100 to $1,000 for a qualifying child, while Colorado's tiered system is based on income levels, and Oklahoma's is 5% of the federal credit. In New York, eligible households receive the greater of either 33% of the federal credit or $100 multiplied by the number of qualifying children. In the state of Montana, Republican Governor Greg Gianforte has introduced efforts to provide working families in the state with a permanent and refundable $1,200 credit per child. Other states have also introduced legislation for state-level child tax credits that have not yet been passed into law. Well, my awesome and most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Saturday. My dear friends, thank you so very, very much for being here and for being part of this community. The winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Leon Chambers and Charles Wesson. Congratulations, my dearest friends. To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message, or you could message me on my Facebook page. Remember, friends, Please enter the weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.